Okay, good evening everyone. We're live again.
Evening.
Of course, kasama natin si Doc D.
As Attorney E,
Dito sa Usapang Ed.
Ed.
Yay!
Ayan.
Marami na tayong na-cover na mga
yes.
usapan. But today or tonight, of course, another important topic on education, no, which is usapang ano tayo ngayon, ADHD in the classroom.
Yes.
Alam mo, napaka-ano nito. Very relevant at laging napag-uusapan nito. But there are very few discussions also from the level of an expert, no?
Correct. Yeah.
Kaya
So when this was suggested, sabi natin, yes, we really want to talk to them, especially because meron din silang very important conference, no, happening very soon.
Oh, right. Talaga? Oo.
So,
sige.
pakilala na natin?
Sige, pakilala natin ang ating dalawang expert
Sige,
resource
ako magpapakilala
persons.
sa una, ikaw magpapakilala dun sa second. Kasi
Okay.
dalawa sila. So that
okay.
you will
Guests
really
pala
have the
tayo,
benefit
yeah.
of very good discussion. We'd like to welcome to Usapang Ed. He's currently the Vice President of the ADHD Society of the Philippines and the conference chair for the upcoming ADHD conference on October 18 to 19. Ayun, that's what we were saying earlier. He serves as a special education consultant and a licensed NILD educational therapist for Therabilities Incorporated and Kazaya Christian School. He's also board member of both the Philippine Association for Behavior Analysis Incorporated and the William Glasser Institute Philippines. In addition, she's a director and treasurer of Farm Bank Incorporated, a rural bank based in Rojas City, Capiz. Welcome to the show, Teacher Jojo Villarreal Nepomuceno.
Welcome,
Hello
teacher.
po. Good afternoon.
Evening
Good
naman.
evening.
Evening, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for inviting me to this podcast.
Okay.
That's Teacher Jojo.
Okay, I'll introduce
Teacher
our
Jojo, yes.
Yeah, I'll introduce our other guest, pero nakikita niyo na siya. But to formally introduce our guest is the section head of the Developmental Behavioral Pediatrics at the Institute of Pediatrics, the Medical City, and also a visiting consultant and the former section head of the Developmental Behavioral Pediatrics at Cardinal Santos Medical Center. Also the founding member and advisory board member of the ADHD Society of the Philippines since 2000. She's also a founding fellow and past president in 2013 to 2014 of the Philippine Society for Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics. She has been a fellow of the Philippine Pediatric Society since 2002. Our guest, Dr. Maria Teresa Aranz Lim. Welcome, Doc Marie. Dr. Marie.
Good evening, Attorney Ed.
Fine.
Matipid sila mag-ano.
Oh, wait, so that's Teacher Jojo and Doc Marie. We'd like to welcome you to the show. So I am Doc Doris. Hindi ako nakikita. And then this is Attorney E. Yun, Attorney Era. So we're really very interested about this topic. First, you are both members, founding member pa nga itong si Doc Marie ng ADHD Society of the Philippines. So for the benefit of our teachers na nakikinig ngayon, yung bang organisasyon ninyo ay open for membership among the teachers? And then what will be the benefit for a teacher para pag siya ay miyembro ng inyong organisasyon?
The ADHD Society of the Philippines is a parent group that was started in 25 years ago. And our members include teachers as well as, of course, parents, because we really are a parent group started back then. And aside from the parents and teachers, we also have allied medical professionals and doctors also who are very involved in the organization as well. So membership is open to even schools and centers in the Philippines, and we have different programs that support the ADHD individuals in that we work with at the moment.
Actually, if we talk about the benefits of being a member, first and foremost, kasi the start of the society, ang goal talaga namin is awareness and understanding of ADHD. And so as a teacher, it's partly a lived experience pero importante talagang nauunawaan sila kasi alam na naman ng mga bata uh, most of their lifetime basically they're in the classroom and how they're managed by their parents and by the teachers impact on their life later on. So kung maayos at maganda ang kanilang experience despite their ADHD, nagiging maganda yung nagiging outcome nila. And that's really proven by lots of studies. In fact, major talaga kasi ang teachers are the second parents. So even if this is originally a parent organization, ang goal talaga namin is able to understand it, both for the individual. Ngayon, meron na kaming adult support group, so pati yung mga adults, and also for society, para maintindihan ng society na hindi ito basta't pasaway lang or matigas lang ang ulo. Kung hindi, meron talagang kondisyon na hindi nila totally nakokontrol. But as we in the medical field talk about it a lot, no? Nurture alters nature. So kung kahit ano man ang iyong kinagisnan or ang iyong what you're born with, pwede mo siyang ayusin or baguhin. Depende sa paano nagre-react yung environment. Yes, the nurturing environment.
Very nice. Actually, maganda yung ano natin yung opening nila, no, discussions kasi na-mention ni Dr. Marie about awareness, no. So, siguro I will not ask you
Start tayo dun.
what ADHD is. Siguro I'll start na lang by asking what are the common misconceptions on ADHD so that it's better understood.
Pero ako gusto ko yun. Yung, siguro umpisa tayo
sige,
sa,
sige. Okay.
kunyari talagang zero, no? Parang tabula rasa.
How do we...
Ano ba yung ADHD at yun na nga, ano yung common na misconceptions or for you to say, in a way, detect na may condition ba yung isang tao?
Sige, I'll
Isang
start
bata.
with the biologic part. Tapos bahala na si Jojo dun sa how it looks like in the classroom. No?
Okay.
So basically kasi, when you diagnose ADHD kami sa doktor, no, tatlong core symptoms yan. Ang pinaka-common na napapansin, malikot. Ngayon, merong what you call developmentally appropriate likot. Pag 2 years old, dapat malikot ang bata kasi in-explore niya yung mundo niya eh. Pero pag yan, 4 years old, hindi na yan appropriate. So yun ang una na nagiging, at yung likot, sobrang likot, very accident prone, maakyat sa kung saan sa ang silya, mga shelves, yung mga pasyente ko, meron akong favorite shelf na inaakyatan, ganon. Tapos hindi mapakali. Pag nakaupo, pa natututong umupo, pero hindi masayad yung puwet sa upuan. They're just really squirming all over, no? So yun yung pinaka-common na napapansin. The second is the impulsivity. So sila yung mga hindi marunong magpatay mali siya, hindi makaantay, nagbe-blurt out, sabat ng sabat kahit hindi sila kasama sa usapan. And part of that also is the emotional regulation. Nagkakaroon sila ng problema sa kanilang temper. So madalas nagtatantrum. Again, ang tantrum, developmentally appropriate time yan. Between 2 to 4 years old, dapat pwede pang mag-tantrum. Pero pag lagpas mo na ng 4 years old, so hindi na bagay. Dapat hindi na. So pagka tantrum pa yung anak mo habang grade 1 na siya, medyo red flag na sa amin yan. And then the other symptom, the third core symptom, attention. Ngayon, madalas nagkakalituan dyan kasi when you talk about the problem of attention, pag hindi na type ang isang bagay, hindi na pakinggan. Pero, at saka sila ay forgetful, sila ay hindi makapansin ng details, so maraming careless mistakes. Pero pagka naman sobrang gusto ng bagay, nag-hyperfocus. Hindi not inattention as it is yung problema ng budget ng attention. Yun. They daydream a lot, no? Maraming naiiwan, hindi nakakabit sa katawan nila sa eskwela, naiiwan sa kung saan-saan. Kaya hindi pwedeng hindi nakakabit ang ID, yung mga important things, yung pang naiiwan kasi hindi importante sa kanila. Yun yung core symptoms, hyperactivity, attention. Tapos may criteria na 6 out of 9 we diagnose them before the age of 12, but commonly, nagda-diagnose kami 4-ish, mga ganun, 4 years old upward. Kasi doon na yung parang yan bagay eh, yung ganong klaseng symptoms. Doon namin
Mm.
na parang meron talagang ADHD siya na.
So do you wait
Nice.
it out? Ano? Curious lang ako. Do you wait it out until such age na 4 parang ganon to say na kasi malikot lang yan, that's expected of a 2-year-old to 4 then parang ganon ba usually? But that's
Well,
kasi yung school age na, no? Pagka 4
right.
na. Oo.
Oo, preschool. Hindi, you don't wait out when you find a symptom, but you don't wait out. You do wait for the official diagnosis. Pero hindi mo
Mm.
antayin na 2 years old bago mo sawayin, di ba? Kailangan
Oo,
bata
oo.
pa lang, turuan mo na ng tama. Turuan mo wait, turuan mo na regulate pagka nagagalit or pag nagtatantrum dahil di mo ko ang gusto.
Mm, mm.
Yung pagka kailangan magpigil ng screen time, yan ang isa sa mga
Mm.
major issues ngayon. Yun. So, dapat natitrain na. So, even if earlier, yung mga parents kasi ang agang namin, sabi namin, di man
Mm.
official yung diagnosis, pero ka nang pwedeng gawin.
That's
And
good.
that's where
Yeah.
parenting happens. And that's why nga
Right.
yung organization really focuses on the parent awareness
Mm.
and what you can do about it.
Mm.
Mm.
Siguro dagdag ko lang, no, and Teacher Jojo can also respond, no. Ang ganda kasi nung developmentally appropriate likot at developmentally appropriate tantrum, no. Kasi nga, pag akala mo ganun talaga normal yun sa bata. Pero if you're a parent, hindi ka rin naman ganun kakapacitated to make an evaluation na developmentally appropriate pa yon or ADHD na nga.
Yeah. Tapos yun nga, yung like a doctor, no, yung sa classroom nga, they get easily distracted, no. Yun yung nagiging problema talaga sa na hindi sila makafocus, they forget instructions given by the teacher, no. Kung mabigay yung teacher ng instruction, all of a sudden, hindi nakatingin lang siya and, he's not focused and then nakakalimutan niya. No? Tapos you mentioned blurting out. Yun yung mga nakikita talaga sa classroom setting, no? And they tend to interrupt classes, interrupt with their classmates, they fidget on their chairs. Minsan mahuhulog na lang sila, no? Parang they leave lang mawawala. Tapos those are the things that they see in the classroom, excessive talking. And I think one of the really main concerns is the incomplete. They get easily distracted. Their handwriting is, can go crazy. Nahihirapan sila sa pagsusulat, pagbabasa. Hindi dahil hindi nila minsan kaya. Pero they tend to, like I remember with son before, he would miss out a line, and of course that affects, naaapektuhan yung understanding niya of yung comprehension na tinatawag na. Tapos yung disorganized school materials, yun yung magdadala ng pencil na 10, pag-uwi, 2 na lang, hindi pa sa kanya. No? So yun yung mga parang nakakatawa, pero it can be very disruptive at times. No? And what happens is, ang masakit dyan, sometimes they have a low self-esteem. No? And they can actually answer, but the problem is, nakakalimutan nila yung instruction. No? Nakakalimutan nila yung, parang tinatawag sila minsan na pasaway. Yung term na pasaway. Pero actually, mislabeling talaga yon eh. Kasi minsan hindi nila nakukuha yung instructions talaga. I remember I had a student na gano'n, no? Parang nakikinig naman siya, nakatingin siya dun sa teacher. Pero pag tinanong mo siya, hindi siya makasagot kasi na-miss out niya yung kanyang instruction because he was staring and the teacher saying, nanonood naman siya, nakatingin, pero hindi nakikinig. So, those are, I think children with ADHD are not giving the teachers a hard time, but rather they are really, really having a hard time. No? So that's why we say we really just have to understand these kinds of, individuals because they're not, they're not behind supposedly because they what they really need is the understanding of the teacher. So like secret cues or things like that, no, that can be nakakatulong talaga sa kanila.
Well, Doris, and alam nyo, of course, we all, I think we're all in agreement the classroom, the school should be a nurturing environment, like you mentioned earlier. Pero madalas din kasi ito yung source ng, especially if you lack awareness, sa schools, yung tendency is, wag na lang kasi mas mahirap. Let's just refer them to other schools. The regular classroom setting might not be appropriate. So, Because of course, understandable naman ngayon, very mga parents litigious, prone to complaints, 'di ba? So and also it also exposes kasi to higher legal risks, no? Of So ngayon ang tanong ko po sa inyo is, meron ba talagang like verifiable indicators, for lack of better term, na pwedeng pagbasihan ng mga teachers to say the regular classroom setting is not appropriate and might be disruptive to the student himself or herself or to the classmates? When do we who makes that call, and when is that call should be properly be?
Or siguro, ang ano mo dyan, attorney, is this, no? Yung isang bata, after, for example, ma-diagnose, no? Talagang yung parent had some suspicion, na-diagnose, and confirmed naman na talagang may condition. Dapat ba wala talaga siya sa isang classroom na
Regular,
nakamix
yeah.
siya sa ibang
The
mga
usual, yeah.
estudyante? May ganun na bang dyan, study na ano ba ang tamang learning environment?
Before I answer that, no, I think point out. I'm not sure about if it's RA 67, the inclusion penned by Congress, which says that
Cannot
no
deny,
child
no.
is allowed, is denied, cannot be
Denied.
denied access to regular school. In fact, kaya ngayon nagkakakahog ang mga regular school mag beef up on their ability to manage children. That's the one side. But on the other hand naman, ako naman ang magulang at hindi ready yung eskwelahan, hindi ko
Yeah,
ipapasok yung bata
correct.
doon. No? Kasi it's going to be detrimental. Like I said, if the environment is not nurtured, very averse. And sad to say, ang nagiging scapegoat yung bata pagka hindi maganda ang parating, ang dating ng pag-handle ng teacher. Very critical yung. There are indicators, and the diagnosis is basically something, you can download it from the internet. Kaya ang dali-dali na ngayon because of that's there. But basically, he ideally wants smaller class size para syempre, pasyensya naman ng teacher.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct.
Kasi unfair naman na i-demand mo sa teacher gano'n na
Correct.
meron siyang goal for the day, meron siyang lesson plan, tapos hindi naman niya magawa kasi wala siyang ginawa. So that's why we have things like in the small classroom, yung mga preschoolers, we suggest small class size, tapos meron silang mga aids, meron silang mga visual reminders, mga ganyan-ganyan. And then pag older children, sometimes, although not ideal, meron silang tinatawag na shadow teacher. That's an external control. Pero other than that, dapat talaga yung bata matutunan niya yung internal control. And that's something that starts with co-regulation. Tinuturuan mo yung bata kasi nagmo-model ka ng tamang ugali, tamang pag-control. So ganun muna. So as far as indicators of when, it's really basically the philosophy of the school Kung iba-iba na ngayon ang mga klase ng eskwelahan, merong mga traditional, we were all probably brought up with traditional school pa, no? Na classroom style, nakaupo ang mga estudyante, may mga desk, tapos may whiteboard, may teacher sa harapan, ganyan, yun ang traditional, tapos lecture style, tapos may gagawing work. Pero there are other kinds of schools now na, like the Montessori system is very common, but not necessarily very well practiced, na yung mga tables nila, hiwa-hiwalay, they are able to move around stations, and they're able to explore based on their interest, but they have some goals for the day. Tapos this is child-directed. Tapos meron naman yung mga teacher-directed, ganun din. Meron silang topic for the day, kukwento sila, tapos they're allowed to explore. Pero yung teacher directs it in a more interactive, less lecture style. So, ang tanong is, bagay ba yung mga batang gano'n? I would say, bagay ang bata sa kahit anong environment as long as the child. Yun na nga, ideally, small class size, tapos merong tulong yung magulang may ambag yung magulang sa pagmamanage ng bata bago pa siya pumasok sa
Yeah.
eskwela.
Does it require special training, special education for to be delivered. No? In other words, kailangan merong additional training by teachers to handle ADHD.
Training is important because in the first place they have to understand what ADHD is all about, no?
Mm-mm.
And that we also have to understand there's such a thing comorbidity. Meaning pwede ho siyang magkaroon ng ibang condition if not properly managed. I think one of the, maybe as a teacher, now one thing that I really wanted to share was yung tinatawag namin universal design of learning. Wherein it's a teaching framework wherein it helps teacher design lessons that meet the needs of learners, all learners, including those with ADHD. So simple things like post-its, lists, kunyari, you have a blind, you have a child who has difficulty reading a line, no? And let's say, kasi nga, distracted siya, you would skip a line. You can use a form of a card that you can put on it and makes it easier for him to just look at that line using that, no? So,
Naka-cover.
Oo, naka-cover yung parts na, actually, binibili pa yun. Kaya lang ako, I make my own, no? I make my own and I share it with the teachers that I have as well as the parents. Gamitin mo to para makafocus sa things like that, simple things. You adjust the environment, you engage the student, as well as you find, what can you do that parang you design a program wherein you adopt it into a certain way na makakatulong dun sa pagbabasa, distractibility niya. I remember with my students, I use a lot of post-it. So ito yung assignment mo, di ba? Ito yung assignment mo kasi kung hindi, dadaanan niya lahat ng buong libro niya, di ba? But it uses up a lot of time. There's certain things that you can do that are quite practical that can also be benefit not only the child in the classroom that has the condition, but as well as the other children. So like schedule boards, things like
Seating
that.
arrangement. Seating arrangement.
Diba? The sitting arrangement, I call it the T. Kasi yung iba naman sinasabi, matangkad yung anak ko, di ba? Hindi ko siya pwede ilagay sa harap. Kasi ideal na sa harap, no? Pero, paano nga naman kung matangkad? So, sinasabi namin may T. So, parang, pwede naman siya dito sa gilid, di ba? Parang there's other ways of adjusting, allowing them to use bigger fonts, things like that. No? That's part of universal design of learning. So, but it will depend on a specific child. No? It will differ depending on what the specific child needs. That's why we say, kailangan makikilala mo talaga yung bata.
True.
Makilala mo rin, baka magre-recommend ka ng napakamahal na gamit, napakamahal na ganyan. Hindi, gumawa ka ng set. Diba? Kasi hindi naman to pang mayaman lang. Yung mga interventions, pwede rin sa, you make your own, diba? So, yun yung ginagawa ng society where we train our teachers, we train teachers, we train parents, we train, medical and allied medical professionals and try to teach them what specific strategies we can use to help them in the classroom. And it will not be the same, diba? Marie, it will not be the same with one child.
Saka dapat ma-empower yung teacher na may common sense din naman siya. Like, kunyari, kung alam niya na yung bata may tendency mag-run off to the playground, di mo lalagay sa tabi ng pintuan, di ba? Or sa gitna, sa tabi ng mga maiingay din, di ba? Mga common sense practical tips din naman that they just have to be empowered na, pwede ito. Or else, for example, pag kunyari nagtatantrum yung bata, a common comment that the teacher complained to me about is, sinasabi na magulang, pagka nagtantrum yung bata, pansinin, huwag kang gagalaw, you're trying to co-regulate and show calm. Sabihin ng magulang, wala siyang ginagawa bakit pinapabayaan niya yung bata na magwala doon? Yun na nga yung co-regulation nga kang magre-react kasi pag nag-react ka, na-reinforce mo yung negative, mga ganung training na ginagawa. And it's really very much common sense din na you have to empower the teachers all about it.
At saka importante, you mentioned parent. Importante talaga yung parent.
Very.
Importante na
I
they
think more important than the teacher.
Oo. Yeah, because they spend more time with the students, di ba?
Right,
Oo.
right.
Hindi kasi
So,
I was struck by, that's why nireview ko tuloy yung batas, yung Inclusive
Education.
Classroom Law, the Inclusive Education Act of 2022. So it actually is about ensuring equitable access for all learners with disabilities by instituting a policy of inclusion and establishing inclusive learning resource centers at least in every city or municipality. Parang may ganun siya. Pero later on, EDCOM said, medyo nahihirapan sa implementation kasi kulang din ng specialists. Kulang din ng, I would imagine, teachers, no? Who can actually look after children with special needs, no? Kasi kanina when you were discussing some commonsensical kind of intervention, but if you have a class size of 60, no, or 50,
Yes. Yes.
and then talagang masikip, mainit.
Oo.
Alam mo yun,
Oo.
lahat halos practically trigger sa bata who
Correct.
already has some, this kind of a condition. So I really empathize with the teachers. No, I don't know how, if si Teacher Jojo, in your school, for example, talagang pag merong bata na may ganitong condition, yung class size nyo, nililimit. Tapos tinitrain yung teacher na mag-handle. Pinagsasama-sama ba sila? O nakahalo sila sa ibang mga estudyante? Kasi I can also imagine, no, yung ibang bata will also be, will have challenges also, interacting with someone, and they might not also have a complete understanding of the condition. Baka makasama pa how they interact with the child.
Ako, well, as a teacher and also as a parent, I will have to find out if like I think Dr. Marie mentioned that, if the
Ready.
school is really ready for that.
Ready.
Hindi lahat ng eskwelahan. And some will say, we're not ready. They say they're not ready, then let's not force it. What we do is we ask them, do you want to have training? Rather than insist that you get the training. But like I said, the training, we're able to teach them on what is some of the techniques that you use, then it will always be helpful, no? So kailangan talaga yung parent, bata, yung eskwela, kaya din, no? They need to have that training that we're talking about para alam nila. I can understand ako rin, if I had 60 students, hindi talaga ako, mahihirapan ako. I mean, so I think most of the public schools, what they would do, half day.
Oo, ang reality,
Realistically, the reality is we have to
ang
be,
reality ngayon sa mga public, kasi we work with some public schools, no? Ang reality dyan is they cut the size or they cut the frequency of attendance. So yung iba nagiging MWF, tapos iba teach Thursday, tapos or they cut the time. It's sad kasi ang mga nangyayari is yung nangangailangan ng more time to the managed classroom. Sila pa yung maikli, like minsan 1 oras lang sa isang araw. And that's really the reality. That's why kaya nga we need to also empower the community, mga parents, mga parent volunteers to help manage this. At saka yun na nga a lot of work has to happen in the back room, hindi lang sa classroom. Kasi pag hindi ready yung bata sa classroom, you're doing the child a disservice also.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Tsaka ang meron kasi yung mga tiers of tier 1 is yung regular classroom. Tier 2, pinupull out sila. Tapos yung tier 3 is nagwa one-on-one yan. One-on-one. And that happens in our public school. Kaya lang, syempre, kulang nga ang teachers at saka lahat ready or trained, specialized in. Like for example, isa sa mga biggest problems is reading, no? Marami tayong mga bata na umaabot ng high school, hindi nga nakakabasa na may ADHD na, tapos hindi nakakabasa, hindi sila capable. So yun yung mga kailangan sa tier 3 sana kung pwede. And well, we have to work with what we have, pero talagang gano'n ang realidad. So we try to avoid, first of all, negative labeling kasi nag-umpisa gano'n Then we try to understand and try to train the teacher, mag-redirect. Tapos, siyempre, hindi natin pwede ibigay yung burden sa mga bata, ng mga classmates. I understand that, Doc Doris, yung sinasabi mo. Talagang it's not also fair. Pero it also teaches the child to be more empathetic
Empathy.
towards towards a child that is struggling, no? So, kadalasan, ginagawa nila is yung mga medyo maganda ang pro-social behavior, yun ang linalapit mo sa mga batang ganito. Nagiging body system. Pero syempre, hindi mo naman pwedeng i-improve yan. Kailangan din, mapapansin mo din. So, yung teacher training will also include being sensitive. Sino ito ang pwedeng makatulong
Mm.
na ano, or paano ba natin mare-redirect yung bata para hindi siya nagiging disruptive or magulo
Mhm.
or
Mm.
positive. Kunyari nagkamali yung bata, hindi natin ihusgahan. Gagawin natin is, try natin ulit, kaya mo yan, ganun. So, na yung growth mindset na kailangan iral
Mm.
sa classroom. Kasi pagka na-discourage na yung bata, ayaw na yan. Eh, syempre, hindi
Yeah.
na yan makikinig. Magtetengang kawali na yan.
Mm.
Hindi sila, pag feeling nila, hindi naman ako pinakikigyan ng teacher, hindi naman niya care sa akin eh.
Mm.
Ba't ako makikinig sa kanya?
Yeah.
Yun. And those are the-
Mm.
also the intangibles that have to happen. Hindi lang yung
Mm.
talagang ano.
Yeah,
So
I think
marami
that's
pang
Tsaka,
ano.
oo,
as
tsaka yung
as
kunyari,
mm.
minsan
Yo, go
hinihingi
ahead.
namin, instead of a written assignment,
Mm.
oral, di ba? Yung mga ganon, or making use of visuals,
Or
making
role
use of,
playing.
or
Role
role
playing.
playing, take it more. Eh, yung ADHD, hindi yan parang, pag hindi exciting, so nawawala na sila eh. Parang ganon. Parang, and if you make all these adjustments that we're talking about, yung sa UDL na yung kind of language, ang of learning, ang importante lang matandaan ay hindi lang siya magbe-benefit yung individual with ADHD. Ang magbe-benefit din diyan yung mga klase niya, no? And if we use those techniques, yung mga visuals, yung mga nasa, 'di ba, mga wall charts and all of those, beneficial din yan. Hindi lang dun sa may condition, but also the others too. Tapos yung giving real life examples. Kasi lalo na sa kanila, mas meaningful yan. Pag kunyari, real life yung examples mo, may konting interactive, di ba? May mga movement activities. Yun, kailangan nila yon. Yung parang purong sila nakakalakad, inuutusan mo sila papunta sa kumuha ng something. Pero minsan, hindi sila bumabalik eh. So, ang
Pero ano ba to?
importante lang is,
Hindi
di
ba
ba?
pag tumatanda yung bata?
Yeah, I was
Those
about to ask na outgrow
are
ba?
the symptoms not less severe? Or nagwo-worsen ba yan? Kung kailan tumatanda?
No, kung maganda yung pagkakamanage or natuturuan yung bata na kinig, natuturuan yung bata magtimpi, natuturuan yung bata na, alamin mo kung saan ka nahihirapan, tapos i-correct mo sarili mo. Which happens, hindi naman agad-agad eh. It takes, you have to rewire the brain. So, kailangan ng konting pasensya sa pagtuturo, paulit-ulit. Kasi hindi natututo ng isang pasadahan lang yan eh. So, they're supposed to, and a lot of the positively outcome adults, they outgrow some of the symptoms. Ang pinaka-common na
nice.
na-outgrow yung hyperactivity.
Mm.
Nagiging
Okay.
less hyper sila, pero internally hyper pa rin sila. Internally distracted pa rin sila. Kaya lang manage na nila. Kasi naman, yung part ng brain, yung frontal lobe, ano pa yan nagdo-grow pa yan ng myelin, no? Nag-develop pa yan as you get older until you're. So, nagkakaroon ka ng learning of executive function, pag-self-monitor, pagre-regulate ng ano. Lahat naman ng yan natututunan ng bata. Kaya lang, kailangan din may practice na nangyayari. Tsaka meron kang parang tinuro sa'yo kung paano gagawin. First, co-regulate, tapos you teach them to regulate themselves. Napasa mo yung control ng sarili niya dun sa bata. So, sila dapat maging worse. Pag naging worse sila kasi hindi sila na-manage, hindi
Mhm.
sila kinilala na meron palang ganun control. Yun ang nagiging worse. Nagkakaroon ng alam mo naman ng teenager, pagdating sa neurotypical teenager, nagiging pasaway sila for a while eh. Nagiging risk taker sila. Pag kami ADHD ka, impulsive ka, lalo kang risk taker. Lalo kang hindi nakikinig. Lalo kang defiant. So, depende talaga how they are able to manage. They're given some kind of acknowledgement ng kanilang at saka how to help them. It should not get worse. That's the primary reason bakit meron tayong ganitong want to empower the parents and the child na pwede naman magkaroon ng positive outcome yan eh. Hindi naman kailangan na nega porket nagkaroon ng ADHD. It's not the end of the world. Yun ang importanteng message, I think, na gusto namin iparating. Kaya kami nagko-conferences para people will understand na hindi naman ibig sabihin nun, ano na yan nega na yan, magiging pasaway na yan for life. Hindi
Yeah.
They're not supposed to get worse. They're supposed to get better with age.
Let me just share. So I'll Doris and Doc and Teacher Jojo. I just wear the hat of a lawyer of the schools, just to also give you an
Yes.
idea what the schools are thinking also. By the way, yung inclusive education when it was still a bill, yan ang usapan eh. It's not discriminating against students or with ADHD. It's because of the lack of resources, proper
Readiness.
training. So readiness hindi dahil ayaw tanggapin, dahil ayaw, not because they're discriminating, just that they're not ready.
kaya.
They cannot sustain that kind of operation, a very small class size. They can't find teachers who are ready to assume that responsibility. Mga ganyan. So back then, yung Kokopea, yung mga private schools were saying, it's not a matter forcing it upon us, but you have to create that environment that allows us to accept them, and of course allow us to do that, and we are ready. So dun nang gagaling. So but having said that as a context, alam nyo, so ito rin gusto kong i-relay sa inyo. I'm sure yung mga ating viewers makaka-relate. So ang pinagmumulan kadalasan ng problem is ang itong sinasabi ng mga teachers and school owners, yung parents of the ADHD. So tama siguro yung sabi niyo, talagang kailangan talaga empower sila, create more awareness. Kasi halimbawa, Doc Marino and Teacher Jojo, so kahit alam nila or meron silang nakikita, they will deny it. They will keep that from the school, or probably the denial, or they just don't want kasi yung fear of being labeled or baka discriminate, so they don't disclose that. Or sometimes so magma-manifest yan later na, disruptive na, may problema with the other parents of the other kids. That's the only time they will cooperate, and by that time talagang problem na, ipit na yung school, kasi pagka the other parents of other kids, ayaw nila, sabihin nila, may kaklase na nasaktan yung anak namin, wala bang gagawin yung school. Tapos yun namang parent naman ng ADHD student, syempre sabihin naman niya, you're discriminating, etc. So how do we properly address these concerns? Ito yung mga real life situations sa classroom.
So yan, Attorney Era, talagang it's really a big problem, no? Kasi you can take the law to its extreme without really understanding the spirit of the law. Talagang problema dyan, kaya kagaya ganun. Una na, dapat yung magulang, tanggapin niya kung talagang merong problema. Kung minsan, ang excuse nila, like kami, commonly sinasabi, kasi nag-COVID, kaya wala silang interaction, kaya hindi sila marunong ganito. Maraming excuses. Rather than make excuses, is let's look at it from the point of view. Kaya kung minsan yung disclosure ng diagnosis, pinapasabi dun sa bata. No? Kasi gagawing excuse Kasi may ADHD ako, kaya ako ganito Ayaw namin ng ganon. Rather, we want to demystify and say, nahihirapan ka umupo ng tagal. Let's try to practice. So, talagang i-empower mo yung parent. So, medyo tinitimpla rin namin yung mga magulang na, teka muna, tanggapin niyo muna, may problema. Kasi pag hindi niyo tinanggap na may problema, hindi niyo magawa ng solusyon. Yun ang unang-una. Tapos secondly is you acknowledge to the school kasi you're also endangering your child and other children kung hindi mo sabihin yung totoo. Diba? So magiging makatotohanan tayo. Kasi kung hindi mo sinabi, and most of the schools naman ngayon, in fairness, marami akong traditional schools that I work with, that are in the area where I practice. Matagal na nilang ginagawa ng paraan. Matagal na nilang ginagawa ng paraan yung mga ganon. So, they cooperate with us to try to find ways to help the child manage their business. And we actually empower the school to have a checklist. Nasa entrance exam pa lang, sa entrance interview pa lang,
Disclose.
nakikita na namin. Papansin na ng mga ng mga interviewers, or meron sila sa application form na does your child go through therapy? Does your child have a diagnosis? Meron ng ganun. So merong truthness na dapat nangyayari. Para hindi rin unfair sa mga eskwelahan. Kasi talaga namang unfair magde-demand ka na hindi ka naman tapos. Kasi, let's be real, no? Nung araw kasi, ang tendency ng mga magulang, hindi naman lahat, is ibigay lahat ng problema sa ano, bahala ng eskwelahan.
Mm.
'Di ba? Hindi uma-attend sa parent-teacher conference 'yan eh.
Mhm,
'Di ba? Hindi sila
Yeah.
nag-a-appear. Nagbabayad sila ng tuition tas wala na, disappear na. Hindi pwede 'yun kasi
Yeah.
you're the parent eh.
Mm.
As a parent, you should hold the responsibility of parenting your child.
Yeah. Quick ano lang, Doc Marie and Doris, Doc D. Yung alam mo yung ang sinasabi ng mga parents no na pagka hindi masyadong may kulang yung kaalaman ng school, sabihin nila you are weaponizing your lack of awareness. Sabihin yon sa school na kasi hindi mo alam kaya you're using it against us pa. No, pero pag naman aware naman, sa kabaliktaran naman is aware yung school, alam talaga nila and they would say in all honesty, ganito yung condition, etc. Ang sabihin naman nung sabihin din ng parents, you're using it, you're discriminating against us. So talagang hirap ng pagbalanse ngayon. It's very hard.
But in a private school kasi, we all know it's a contractual arrangement, right? Which means the parents actually choose, no, to send their children to the school, no? And dapat talaga you cooperate. Kasi ang bottom line dyan, yung bata. Bata. Di ba pareho tayo ng accountable, no, dun sa magiging formation ng bata. Ang mas concern ko yung sa public schools eh. Parang wala silang ganong luxury, right? Of being able to, to have a complete, complete data gathering and, require some diagnosis. And then after that, do the intervention, especially because the student has special needs, obviously. Hindi siya pang kamukha ng iba na, sabi ko nga wala pa tayong condition na pinag-uusapan. Differentiated instruction na ang sinasabi natin. Kasi nga, one size does not really fit all. What if meron pang condition? Diba? All the more can you not expect that you will deal with that child the same way as everyone else. No? So, medyo malaking challenge talaga for those in the public schools. No? I can just imagine, as usual, no, you have a law, but it's the implementation that's where the devil is, right?
In other words, ang sinasabi ni Doris kasi public schools na yun wala kang excuse Alam mo, sa private, hindi kaya ng private sabihin, lilipat ka sa iba, hanap ka na iba. Pero kung nasa public na, saan pa kung tinanggihan sila, hindi sila pwede doon, saan pa sin pupunta? Diba? Kaya talagang kailangan gawa ng paraan ng public. But the problem is how? Maybe the answer lies in this too.
In fairness naman to the public school
They
system,
try.
no, marami na, kasi I work in one of the popular cities in the country, syempre, where we have a popular mayor, kaya no. But I've worked with at least two.
Palagi ko alam ko yun, kung saan ang popular mayor. Oo.
Maraming popular
good
ngayon.
looking ba? Good
Teka,
looking ba?
Good ba yan or
Hindi
bad?
notorious
Maraming
yan.
popular na bad.
Ha?
Hindi notorious, popular talaga.
At good looking. Yung importante, good looking.
Yun.
Oo.
Oo,
Okay.
yes, good looking.
Okay.
Pero even before he upo siya, no, naggagawa na sila ng public school where they have these mga
Yes,
different
dapat.
nga. Pero naman, kaya lang talagang, in fact nga, marami kong nagiging pasyente na pilipat sila sa public school kasi doon merong
Mas
SPED.
maayos.
Actually,
That's true.
oo.
That's true.
Oo.
SPED.
So they
Oo.
do have SPED and then
Yeah.
they have this contained environment.
True.
Na yung pagka nakita nila na hindi kakayanin doon sa big population classroom, ilipat nila doon sa tier 2 nga, yung sinasabi natin na parang small class size, mas namamanage sila kahit mga children with autism, namamanage sila
That's
doon.
good.
Kasi less distracting,
Yeah.
less dating, less demanding, ganon. Tapos yung iba talaga win a one-on-one. Another school, another that I work with, the public school din, ganun din ang ginagawa nila. They do one-on-one. Yun na nga lang, siyempre, kawawa yung teacher talaga. Totoo
Yeah.
lang. Yan ang talagang
Pagod
mga
talaga.
talaga
Public
sila
school.
ang
Oo.
talagang mga bayani ng ating ng ating sistema kasi a lot of them and they're underpaid kaya maraming umaalis. They do extra work. And then they do extra work. Tapos meron pang sistema which is sad. I don't know how it's gonna pag nagbagsak ka ng estudyante dahil hindi naman siya
Pass,
kapasa-pasa,
Go pa rin.
bababa ang rating ng
Ba,
eskwelahan
rating
sa
mo.
public school.
Yeah,
Ang mga
hindi.
incentives mo bumababa. I don't know who made that crazy system. Pero kaya tuloy, yung mga pasa na lang ng pasa ng mga estudyante.
Yeah.
Tapos
Tapos
hayaan mo
hindi
na
sila
lang
marunong
ganun.
magbasa.
Kahit hindi marunong magbasa.
Oo, hindi
Hindi
marunong
marunong
magbasa.
mag-read.
Yun
So,
yung problem.
Pass
oo,
all.
sobra talaga, pass
Pass
all.
all.
Oo,
Oo.
yung mali yung pagkaintindi nila sa No Child Left
No
Behind.
child left
eh.
behind. Teacher
Oo.
Jojo,
I
what do you
siguro
think?
I'd like to share, no?
Sure,
I'd like
sure.
to share, like, the regular school,
Mm-mm.
yung sinasabi mong private, no? Ang difficulty, sometimes they have the guidance counselors. So ako personally, ang laki ng tulong ng guidance counselor. That's why whenever I have a parent, like nasa regular school, tas may guidance counselor, sinasabi ko, kailangan nyo talagang lapitan yon. Kasi yun yung pwede mong papuntahan sa anak mo. Kasi yun nakakaintindi ng age. Usually, Pero kasi yun ang malaking pag nasa private ka. Kasi sadly, in some of our private schools, and I will not name it, meron
Wala.
nga silang guidance, but they have like two levels, one whole level. Imagine mo kung gaano kadami. Diba? Pero sa akin, dun sa anak ko, nasa regular school siya, big school, no? They were 45 in the classroom. But the guidance counselor was the key every year na napupuntahan ng anak ko pag meron siyang problema. Kasi aminado ko hindi lahat lalapit sa akin ng anak ko eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Mm-mm.
Pero they have to have that person in that school who they can trust, who they can talk to when in times that they have trouble.
Do you have,
be it
ano?
ADHD, be it
Right.
autism or any other condition.
Oo. Yung sa ADHD specifically, do you have any data as to how many, say for every 100 of
Dapat.
our students ang merong ganyang
Philippine
condition?
setting.
Yeah.
Sadly, hindi namin magawa dito yan. Ano? We've been wanting that. Our society is 25 years and hindi nakatulong yung data privacy law dyan eh. Pero actually,
right.
talagang ihirap kasi in the first place, dito since out of pocket ang usual consultation, nagmo-multiple consults yan. So, isa sa mga factors kaya hindi kami makakollect ng proper data is malamang nagpunta yan sa hindi lang sa isang doktor. Pag ayaw nila sinabi ng doktor, lilipat sa 2, 3, ganyan, to doctor shopping. So, hindi very accurate yung data even if we were together the information. Pero yung statistics talaga niyan abroad and really worldwide is about 20% of normal population have it. 1 out of 5 kids. So kung may class ka of 45, ay good luck. Ilan na yung meron doon. Ganon. So, na hindi naman lahat malikot. Yung iba, inattentive lang. So, medyo tahimik lang. Hindi nakakasunod. Ganon. Or else, iba naman, ibong-bibo lang sila. Gusto lang nila mag-participate. Nagiging teacher's pet naman. So, iba-iba yung manifestation nila sa classroom. Lahat pare-pareho. Statistically, ganon ang
But what is your comment
1 out of
about, siguro nung tayo yung estudyante, as I don't know about your age, no, we will not, not one of us will reveal, no,
Parang
pero
magkakabatch
parang
kayo.
during that time,
Magkakabatch po
parang
tayo.
hindi pa masyadong mataas, no, ang knowledge about this and, probably the research. So, siguro, ang sabi, malikot, makulit. You never say, may ADHD, right? So, without that kind of a diagnosis, we all went through our elementary na merong mas malikot at mas, mas makulit. But no one was getting diagnosed and we were all just together in a mixed ability classroom. So is that not a better state of affairs?
Actually kasi, mas hindi hirap magpalaki ng bata ngayon. That's the first reality we have to accept. Iba na ang mga bata. A lot of kids are too smart for their own good and they're not taught to become dead. Ang extreme yan yung mga nepo baby. Sorry, I had to make that comment. But
Coming
and
from
then
your
the thing is,
of the city where okay, sorry.
Oo,
Go ahead.
coming from the city where I
Taga
live.
dun din siya. Okay.
Anyway, tapos ang nagiging problema din kasi is the environment is so confusing and so unfavorable. Kasi nung
Okay.
araw, nung kapanahonan namin at
Yes,
ninyo
natin.
siguro,
Oo.
meron pang mga natatampisawan mga bagay-bagay, malilinis na batis, meron ka pang nalalaruan ng mga pilapil na pwede
Yeah.
kang
And then we have
magtulay-tulay.
authority figures, right?
Yes. And then
Takot
may
mo
mga
na lang
puno.
sa magulang
mga-
mo, di ba?
Oo. Yung mga puno ka na aakyatin para mawala yung energy mo,
Oo,
ganyan.
Yung mga plaza.
That's one.
di ba?
Oo. Mga, yan, from a physical standpoint. Tapos ang mga magulang noon, hindi takot sa anak nila.
Oo.
Diba? Kasi ngayon, ang mga magulang takot sa anak, they're so scared to discipline their children.
Mm-mm.
Number 1. Number 2, they're so scared of tantrum. anong sasabihin ng kapitbahay, anong sasabihin o gano'n. They don't like to be judged. Pero nung araw, baka sa isang tingin, pagka
Mm.
well,
Palo.
I don't, punishment is also extreme, no? Yung physical punishment. But there's again, a developmentally appropriate
Appropriate, yeah.
time to spank a child. Spare the rod, spoil the child, sa ika nga sa Bible. Meron ding appropriate time. Pero pag hindi na nakuha sa isang palo yan, ibig sabihin yan, sandali, hindi nakukuha sa palo, huwag mo nang gamitin, mga ganon. To the point. And then, yun na nga yung co-regulation. So, ang daming mga factors, kaya noong araw talaga, sa totoo lang, like I said, ADHD could thrive, and I believe in the regular classroom na malaki, araw kasi na-manage nila better, no? Saka hindi kasing distracting environment. Ngayon, nung araw, kailangan ka mag-antay ng favorite cartoons na naglalari beses sa isang
That's right.
linggo. At may oras yan.
Tama,
Pag hindi mo nakuha yung
oo.
oras, pasensya ka.
Mm.
Ngayon, 24/7 ang video at saka only pa. So, iba, yung pagpipigil ng bata, yung pagtitimpi, hindi na ituro.
And then ngayon
Tapos,
din, if we
Saka
can also
saging
observe na
frustration tolerance. Diba?
Yeah.
Oo, ang
Napakaiba
frustration
rin.
tolerance.
Grabe,
napakaiba.
parang konting ganyan lang.
Saka hindi,
sila.
kahit
Sobrang,
tayo,
ano,
aminin natin, di ba? Noong araw, ang kape, ginigiling, tapos pakukulo ka ng tubig. Ngayon,
that's
instant coffee, all
Instant
kinds of
lahat.
coffee. Instant mail, instant, isang picture, post sa Instagram ka agad. I mean, everything is instant.
Yeah.
So, the environment has really changed. Kaya rin, mas mahirap din sabihin na,
Best of
so,
patience.
and that's the school setting, of course, doesn't help, no? Being overprotective, parang of
Oo.
children.
Because they're scared.
Tapos
they're scared of their children.
ang problem is overprotective. Tapos yung parents, sabi nyo nga hindi ngayon takot sa yung
anak.
magulang, takot sa anak. Pero yung school ay takot sa magulang din because they tend to be
Oo,
very overprotective. And just want to include this also. Of course, ako naman because my background is law. Kasi ngayon pag mapansin niyo yung ating policy environment and our laws, yung attribution of yung fault and then which result to damages. Kung mapapansin niyo, if you're aware, yung mga kaso natin puro ganyan na automatically the teacher is at fault because that's what our law provides. You're presumed to be negligent kasi unless you prove diligence. So imagine yung yung regular classroom na manghirap na ngang i-handle, then kaya yun ang sasabihin ng teachers, kung may additional burden sa kanila, they lack training and resources, lalo silang mapapahamak. No? They are into higher legal risks. No? So yun ang...
Kaya nga, that's why nga we really emphasize the parent education part na dapat yung magulang may ambag talaga sa pagpapalaki ng kanilang anak. Sa totoo lang. Kasi sila naman ang nanganak, hindi ba?
Saka minsan yung parents ang nagko-compete. Yung mahirap Kasi parang anong grade nung anak mo? Diba?
Right. Causes,
Yun
it
yung
causes
difficulty,
more.
The parents are there competing with one another who gets the higher grade. And then the pressure is on the student.
It agitates the child more.
Even more.
Yeah.
Oo.
Or else, for example, yung magulang mismo, hindi marunong, hindi naman sa hindi marunong, mas madami silang napupunang mali kaysa sa tama sa bata.
I think the best way is really positive. Positive approach to learning.
Yung positive parenting na hindi mo naman binobola yung bata kung talagang hindi naman
And
siya
you still
magaling. Kaya
discipline.
lang, you still discipline. Pag mali, yun na nga, accountability. I think
Yes.
that's the problem of our whole country, accountability. Diba?
I was about to say that, Doc Mary, sabi ko, accountability tayo na accountability. Sa mga magulang, baka number one accountability talaga or hindi baka. Ang number one accountability mo talaga yung mga anak mo.
At saka I think yung time that's so important for parents to make.
There's no such thing as quality time.
There's no such thing as diba? Parang
Just time.
Importante. Oras na binibigay mo sa mga anak mo.
Hindi mo makikilala ang anak mo kung spend ng time sa kanila.
Yeah.
Actually, in therapy, when you notice, like kunyari ako, when I do therapy, I make sure that the parent is also able to observe.
Yes.
Yung iba kasi ayaw nila magpa-observe. Ako gusto ko. Kasi doon nakikita ng magulang, ay, kaya pala ng anak ko yan. Then you realize, hindi pala nila nakikita yung anak. Kasi ang tutor ang nagtuturo sa kanila. O kaya may ibang bata. No? And ang hirap kasi kailangan kilala mo yung anak mo para malaman mo kung ano yung makakabuti sa kanila. And nasusurprise sila na kaya pala or Hindi pala niya kaya yun talaga.
Mm.
Parang ganon. So, you
Doc,
need to know who
mm.
your child is and
Hirap.
what his difficulties are.
Doc
Yeah.
V, speaking of time,
Oo nga
time
eh.
flies.
Oo.
Lagi, ang sarap
Time
ng
flies
kwentuhan
and we're
natin
discussing
Parang-
something
Oo.
very important.
Kami ay
Grabe
flag na
talaga.
dito. But, this is really a
Oo.
very interesting topic. I think yung mga nanonood sa atin would be very interested na to get in touch with you guys, for sure.
Oo.
Kasi
Oo.
talagang yan ang isang mainit na usapan at the level of this. But, siguro, because of lack of time, maybe we can ask you for your parting message.
Yes, and invite them
Invite
to the
them
conference.
and where they can reach you. The society and of course si Doc Marie your professional services maybe. I'm sure kami ay makakatanggap na maraming inquiries dito about you. But yeah, please go ahead.
Go, ikaw muna.
Yeah, okay. So, the ADHD, sa Facebook po, ADHD Society of the we have a conference birth 18 and 19 dun po sa pamantasan ng lungsod ng
Ganda doon.
nagpa-partner po kami kay Mayor Vico at Congressman Romulo dito po sa project na to dahil nga this is our 25th year, no? And yung madami po tayong mga topics about how to manage ADHD as well as ano bang mga current programs that are working, no? And andyan ho sila Dr. Marie, yung mga developmental pediatrician, we have psychologists, we have psychiatrists in the team. Very full po yung and we will start by highlighting the positive side of ADHD. Kasi usually you start with the end, eh, right? Ano bang ADHD? Kami hindi. We will show you what ADHD, how positive life. No? And then po, pagpupunta kayong Facebook, and then po ADHD Society of the Philippines. We hope that all of you join us, be part of the conference in October 18 to 19.
Yes.
Actually, we
Marie.
have a poster. We have a poster na.
Yeah, we have a poster.
We have a poster, no? That's that. And yes, kami naman sa Philippine Society for Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics. 107 na po kami ngayon. Although hindi pa rin madali makakuha ng
Appointment.
Pero meron din kasi meron kaming 5 training hospitals na ngayon. Hopefully sa Davao magkakaroon na rin soon. And we're all spread out in the Philippines naman. And yun na nga bago pa nga diagnose, ganda ho talaga is yung parenting. Kaya nga po may mga organizations like the ADHD Society. Kasi po yung pasimula ng mga problema, gawa na natin ng paraan. So that's really what we want to recognize na hindi po lahat matutugnan ng kakaunting professional, na kakaunting or kakaunting teachers, kakaunting psychologists, kakaunawa. Pero talagang kailangan lahat tayo may ambag kahit paano to make the environment better, to teach the child better, to model the right behavior, to be accountable, and help make ADHD a positive thing rather than a negative thing. Kaya nga ang title ng aming conference, Silver Lining of ADHD, kasi it really is a silver lining. Kasi sa totoo lang, ilang yung mga negative meron din tayong mga frontliners na parang naging sila yung nag-cause ng change, ng positive change sa ating society, mga inventors yan. Marami anecdotal na like for example, anecdotally, ang documented si Michael Phelps kasi, yung Olympic swimmer, and then si Jordan, I think, Michael Jordan, and then yung gumawa ng JetBlue sa US, no? And then hindi ako pwede mag-disclose sa local, no? Pero meron tayo diyang mga sikat na mga tao na may ADHD and they've done well. Kasi nga maganda yung naging environment, naging yung way to help them move forward. So I think that's really the important thing, that our environment, the parents, the child, the teacher, the community, all help to nurturing environment. So
Yes.
nurture can change
Very
nature.
important. Yes.
Wow. Thank you. Very encouraging yung words ng ating mga guests. Maraming salamat. Doris.
Ako yun ang bottom line talaga eh. Nurturing. Nurturing talaga eh. Diba? It's a very difficult environment what we have right now with what technology and AI and all that gets to be more complicated. So the only weapon that you have as a parent and as a teacher is to nurture the child. Nurture, right? And talagang dapat maramdaman niya yun eh. Para, ma-regulate niya ang sarili niya. Kasi tataas ang self-esteem niya, malalaman niya na loved and supported siya. Kasi we have no control over all of these other say, advances in technology and even how other societies are dealing with their children. You only have control over your own.
Yeah. Saka ano na tayo, 21st century learning na
Mahirap
tayo.
talaga ay,
Diba?
mahirap.
Hindi na, no excuse na yung totoong no child left behind. Nung araw, siguro 70s, 80s, pag mabasa niyo yung mga batas natin, it's an excuse for parents not to send their children to school if the distance between their residence and the nearest public school is more than 3 kilometers. Ganyan, parang it's already prohibitive na yon nung araw. Tapos may mga disabilities. Pwede mong hindi pag-aralin yung anak mo sa formal education hanggang sa lahat meron nahanapan natin ng ng paraan. So there's no excuse now na we can't accept students because of certain conditions. So dapat talaga very encouraging yung ating mga naibahagi ng ating mga guest tonight, no? So
Sana maraming
salamat po sa inyo.
parents ang mag-attend.
Sa mga
Oo, sana maraming parents ang mag-attend.
Oo.
Sana
At saka
i-live stream
meron din
nyo. I-live stream nyo
Yes.
yung ibang mga
Yes, actually,
mga
naka-live
talks na talagang para sa lahat dapat marinig.
Siguro
Actually, the
kailangan din
conference is online. Yeah, we will
Okay,
give
good.
anywhere.
Saka I
Hindi
think we
siya
need to also
live lang.
promote. Meron din na gusto namin din i-promote kasi hindi lang naman yung conference, meron din kami parent support group,
Teacher
saka adult
training.
teacher training, at saka adult support, saka parenting training din. Meron din yung society. So, ikot kami sa bansa. We try to reach out and we invite school or we ask if they're interested. We have the parent support group which is bi-monthly. Tapos may adult support group na ngayon, no? So
That's
kahit
nice.
silang mga adults para maintindihan din nila kung paano nila i-traverse yung kanilang mga challenges. So,
Maybe we
We
can
also
help.
have a sensitivity
Parents
training.
naman.
Yeah. Maybe we can help
we also-
disseminating those information. So siguro offline, we will ask you some details. Maybe we can
Yes.
repost and share
we
on
can
our Facebook page and
Oo,
our
share
platforms.
natin
no?
sa
And of course,
Facebook.
speaking about platforms, we invite everyone to subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify, and of course, our Facebook page here on Usapang Ed. Doris?
Okay, with that, we'd like to thank our guests and good luck sa conference. At talagang very happy kami na nandito kayo, nakapag-share kayo ng maraming bagay at we're very enthused with what you're doing. That's Teacher Jojo and Doc Marie.
So we hope we can invite you again, no? In the future. For sure, marami pa tayong dapat pag-usapan at marami pa matututunan ng ating mga taga-subaybay dito. Again, maraming salamat, Doc Marie and Teacher Jojo.
thank you very much also
Thank
for
you very
having us. It was a big help talaga. We know that the reach is much pagka merong social media, that it really helps us also. Thank you very much for guesting us.
Thanks, Doc Marie.
Thank
Teacher
you. Thank
Jojo?
you very much. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
So
you.
with that, we'd like to conclude this evening sa Usapang Ed and we'll see you again
With Doc D,
and Attorney E.
dito sa
Usapang
Usapang
Ed.
Ed.